Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel today with another movie review, another Pixar review, this time being Elemental, directed by Peter Sohn, who obviously had previously directed The Good Dinosaur, which if you've seen my Pixar rank video, you know that I do like that movie more than most. I think it's quite underrated, but certainly nowhere close to being their best. I mean, it's called The Good Dinosaur for a reason, right? But, you know, this one, Elemental, I saw the trailers for it, I thought the world looked incredible, but when I saw the second trailer, I was like, this seems like a very tired sort of story that we've seen many times before, you know, the forbidden love narrative and trope, but I was really kind of trepidatious going into this because I figured, okay, I'm not going to be huge on this, I don't think it's going to be one of their best. And look, right off the bat, I have to say, the animation is incredible, as you'd expect from Pixar. This one is a less photorealistic, as much as it's just so vivid with detail, and the way they play with colors in this world is so incredible. And the world itself, I love the world building in this. Just the way they portray these personified elements going about their day, the world they build for them, the subway system, just the transportation system in general. It's incredible, the detail that went into this movie, and I think the animators must be commended for that, because really, I mean, I sound like a broken record complimenting Pixar on their animation, but it is true. It's just absolutely phenomenal. One thing I will say is I really do like the voice cast in this. Granted, a lot of them are very unknown actors, so it was really interesting that besides Catherine O'Hara, I don't think there's really anybody I even know who they are in this cast. I think Leah Lewis as Ember in the story, the protagonist we follow, is very, very good. Definitely a relatable character, and you understand her plight in this story. And I really like her voice work that she did. I also love Ronnie Del Carmen as her father, who actually was one of the writers on Inside Out and got nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. Really has a great turn in here as a voice actor, and his character is very integral to the story, of course, because, you know, the parents and the child, you know, maybe the child wants something a little bit different, but the parents want to push something on them. I mean, we've seen this narrative before, but I think that relationship does play out pretty well in this film, I must say. Also, Mamadou Athie as Wade was really, really phenomenal, especially because he completely disappeared into this role. I mean, there's no question about it. Even though I'm not really a fan of certain things about that character, I'll get into that in just a minute. But another thing I do like about this movie, besides the solid voice cast, is the ideas that they're pushing forward about, what they're saying about refugees. I won't give too much away for the plot, but I really do think it's handled in a very, very realistic and, relatable way that a lot of people who come from that sort of background can relate to, and it certainly is insightful in some way. But I will say its commentary, other than that, isn't really anything insightful at all. Actually, I think this is one of the weakest films Pixar has ever made. I honestly did not like this film, and I think it's because the writing is so weak. I cannot believe how the mighty have fallen. I mean, really, Pixar has been on the downslide for years, and I think that this film, once again, proves that they just aren't there where they were about 15 years ago. They just aren't. The quality hasn't been as good, and of course there have been great films like Soul that have come out since, but really it's just kind of a downturn that this production company is taking, that they have to get Toy Story 5, and I really don't know how that's going to turn out. But I just think not only is the story so generic and so bland and so done to death, but at the same time I feel like it's just so cringy. A lot of the character interactions, it's very, very cornball shit if I've ever seen it, and I really don't like the lazy approach to writing. The jokes are very obvious, like, oh, water is going to cry, you know, all the water people, they just start crying for no reason. I mean, I get the joke, water, yeah, I know, but it doesn't come off as funny after you do it 5 times. It wasn't even that funny the first time. It's just annoying and obnoxious. And I also really don't like how contrived this plot is. It really does feel like a rom-com in the worst way possible. Really, I'm just astounded at how lazy the writing is in this movie. But somehow, there's still moments where it really kind of finds... it leads me back onto the path. Like, there's a moment that happens that's kind of cringe, and then they kind of bring it back a little bit and dive into the story in a more personal way for these characters that they're portraying. And then it dips back out again and does something stupid. So it isn't completely devoid of enjoyment or anything like that, but it's just insane to me, like, how far they've fallen. It's really cheesy and corny and not a good way. I really don't know what happened here. I'm sorry. I mean, I really just don't think this is good, and I don't know how anyone could see this as one of their best, because it really is probably my least favorite Pixar movie besides Cars 2, and probably one of the only 2 Pixar movies I don't even like. Which is not to say it's necessarily a bad film, but from what I'm saying, if you feel this way about movies in this vein and it kind of annoys you, I don't think you're going to like this. You might find some enjoyment in it. There are some very beautiful scenes that do stand out as memorable Pixar moments, but those moments are still few and far between for me to really justify recommending this movie at all. I'm going to give Elemental a 5.5 out of 10. Big disappointment for Pixar. I hope they pick up the pace soon. That Elio movie looks pretty interesting. I'm hoping that will be on the same level of at least Coco or something, but I don't know. It's just kind of sad to see these projects, you know, getting back into theaters and really not performing very well, as you probably have noticed from the numbers. Same thing with Flash. I'll get into that movie later. And yeah, I really hope that Pixar really picks up the pace once again and starts making amazing films that are just so quality, like they did in the past, and that they have continued to prove, but maybe not at the same level as they were all those years ago. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Elemental. What did you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think I'm off base here? I don't think most people will disagree in that sense, even if they did like the movie. But let me know what you guys thought, and smash that like button if you are getting on this video, and please subscribe to the channel if this is the first time watching. Definitely a lot of content coming in the next couple weeks. So many things to talk about. As I said earlier, gotta make my review of The Flash, so that will be coming this week. And of course, the next episode in the Nathaniel, Ahart, and Johnny Radio's top 100 albums of the 21st century should be coming very soon. And a plethora of other reviews that I might not even spoil, because I think the surprise will be all the more worth it in the end. So thank you once again for tuning into this video, and until the next one, I'll see you later.